And we're back. Hi again. I'm Marie Carlton, Senior Manager for Partner Solutions Architecture, and I am joined again by our friend Kyle here.
Your neighborhood-friendly senior security solution architect that focuses on threat detection and incident response. Where's Aaron when I finally got it done right?
I know.
Aaron, where are you? I had a cake pop, so sugar's getting to me.
I love it.
So do I.
Awesome. Well, we are here right now to learn about building threat detection models with machine learning, which I am so excited to learn more about. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raghavarao Sodabathina. I'm a principal solutions architect based out of Boston. I've been with AWS about 3.5 years.
That's a long time in AWS years.
Oh, yeah.
Now, threat detection, modeling, machine learning, what does it all necessarily mean? I mean, we're here at Inforce, our awesome security conference, but here we're using machine learning to build threat detection models.
Right. So threat detection is very important for organization to achieve their business objectives. And we always recommend them to put a layered threat detection. First one is you have to manage your threat detection with cloud infrastructure, where we have Amazon Guard Duty. And then second layer is where you have to architect your application, where you can have an architecture such that you have a multi-layers of protection. If you want to learn more about how to build web application threat detection, I'm leading a chat talk session tomorrow at 11:45. That is NIS 332. Now today, other thing is once your application is live, you need to respond to the threats in a real time, automatic response, and you need to have some kind of tools which you wanted to uncover unknown threats. That is where machine learning will come into play. The value of machine learning for threat detection model is you can get the comprehensive threat detection models, you can create a behavior kind of a thing, and then you can automatically respond to incident in a real time. I'm going to talk about a little bit more about it. This is NIST Cyber Security Framework. It starts with identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. And the first thing is you need to identify what you want to protect. So I'm going to map this with Amazon Fraud Detector. So there are two services how you can build threat detection model with machine learning on AWS. One is Amazon Fraud Detector. Another is Amazon SageMaker. Amazon Fraud Detector is artificial intelligence services, whereas Amazon SageMaker is you can build end-to-end machine learning models on AWS.
So for our folks listening that maybe haven't used machine learning for threat detections, why should they use machine learning versus other avenues for that?
Yeah, the main thing, you wanted to uncover unknown threats. For that, you have to feed some historical data to uncover what could be the future threat. That is the main thing.
I mean, could you imagine if we used Kyle learning instead of machine learning? We'd be in a world of hurt.
Oh, God. OK. Hopefully we'll have a model called Kyle learning. So the fraud detector is you just bring the data, and then we take care of everything, feature engineering, training, everything, and then it comes with the API. API is nothing but like kind of a web service you can integrate with your application. Now, if you map with the thing, right, any threats related to account takeover fraud, creation of fake accounts, online fraud, that is where you can use Amazon Fraud Detector. And you can build the model without any machine learning experience. And then once you build the model, you can detect by using the risk score. If it is a high risk score, let's take an example of user registration. You can just block that user coming into the registration. And if it is a medium, maybe you can create a friction. The friction could be asking a person to enter a code, right, where you send a code to the phone and all. And if it is risk score is low, you just approve it. So
and so people do experience that already in things that they do as they sign up for something or whatever. There's a code and all of that.
Are you a human? Check.
Yes.
Yeah, Amazon SageMaker, if you have a data scientist team along with the security engineer, security analyst, they can build their own fraud detection model. I'll walk through the quickly architecture. First, you have to put your training data in S3, and then Amazon Fraud Detector, you are going to train the model, and then you have Amazon Fraud Detector endpoint. And then client application, right? It could be your web application where you send the request through Amazon API gateway, and then Lambda can get the results, and then there could be 3 outcomes. So one is a low risk, you just approve it. And the high risk, you deny the registration. And if it is a medium risk, you create some friction. And then simultaneously, you collect the data, whatever the transactions are coming, so that you can use that data for retraining your model. And then you can create a business intelligence report to look at the comprehensive kind of a thing where you can detect where frauds are coming so that you can put some additional security controls. Same thing you can do with Amazon SageMaker. Amazon SageMaker comes with built-in algorithms. S3, you bring the training data and then use XGBoost and random cusp forest. And then once model is ready, again, send the request to Amazon API gateway. And then Lambda is going to read the model. And then it will give you the risk score. And then you can collect the data. And then, again, same thing, you can do it here. So to take it to this next level, I'm going to show the demo. Because of the issues in the morning, I pre-recorded a demo. Give me 1 second.
No, I'm excited to see this. And I love how that you kind of pulled apart when we get to simple threat detection versus medium versus high and what you can train each experience to be like for the end user.
All right, we should do a voiceover here. We are Data Model Explorer in Fraud Detector. He's clicking around.
Yeah, if you look at here, right, Fraud Detector comes with a new feature called Data Model Explorer, where business use, based on the business use case, it will suggest which model you have to use. For here, account takeover fraud, it is asking us to take the account takeover insight. And if you look at the next one, new account fraud, it is recommended to use online fraud insight. And this is the sum of the data. At least you need to have 10,000 records with the labels, whether fraud or not. Out of the 10,000 records, 400 records should be fraudulent activities.
And so this is training the machine learning model.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what it is telling. OK, if, for example, we are taking our new user registration. That is where we wanted to put the security control in place. That is where we are going to use the online fraud insight. The next step is you have to create a Amazon S3 bucket where we are going to upload the training data. We have some synthetic data. That is where we are going to use it here. We are just creating a S3 bucket called Fraud Detector Inforce June 2023. Just simple. It could be anything. It has to make it. And we can keep all of the default options. And then now the bucket we already created. Now we are going to upload our training data into this bucket. I'm looking for the bucket, what I created here. This is the bucket. I'm going to upload now some of the training data here. This is the training data where customers are also can download. This is the synthetic data. You can use it, play around before you put your own data so that you can see the model. So now we uploaded training data into S3. Next one is we have to create an entity. Entity means like, what is that entity? It could be a user or a customer who is coming to the registration. I'm just calling as an entity as a user. And then next one is we have to create basically labels, whether that user upcoming registration is a fraudulent or legit. So I created a fraud and legit here. And then next one is event we have to create. Event means, for this example, event is user registration. So that's the reason I just put a registration here. And then entity, whatever the previous entity we created, I'm going to select that. That is a user here. And then here, we need to do the labels here, right? I mean, that is a mandatory.
Yeah, because if you don't label it, then it's gonna call out the wrong things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I just click it there just to show the error because we need to select some event variables, whether you want to define your own variables or get the variables from the training data set. Here we are taking the variables from the training data set. Again, in AWS, everything is zero trust. I mean, until unless you give access to bucket, Amazon Fraud Detector cannot access the training data to train the model. That's the reason we are creating an IAM role here, giving the bucket name. And we have to remember this IAM role because there could be many roles. That's the reason I'm just taking a note because we might be using this later on. If you come here, then we have to give the location of our training data, where we have to get the S3 URI. You can just copy that S3 URI, and then you paste it here. And then just click on upload. Now we got two variables here, right? IP address and then email address. And then we have to map to the corresponding Amazon fraud detector variables.
Okay.
I'm looking here for IP address. I mean, I'm struggling a little bit, but it will come up because there is a lot of variables. I mean, you can have like as many variables, but the thing is, once you try the model, you see the model explainability. What are the variables are providing more importance to you?
Yeah.
Based on that, next round you can reduce the variable so that you can reduce the payload while sending the request, because you don't want to send a lot of variables in your request.
Yeah.
I mean, to avoid like latency issues. So IP address, I mapped to IP address here. And then next one is we were just going to basically create the model. Sorry, not the create a model, create the event. And then now we are going to build the model.
Okay.
So while building the model, here we are going to basically select the model name. So right, we can just put some model name called user registration. That's the user registration model. And then model type. This is what Amazon Fraud Detector as a service, they are going to provide you based on the use case what we have seen in the starting of the demo. We are going to select online fraud insight here.
Okay.
And the event type is what we created earlier, like a user registration. That is where we wanted to look at the fraud insights.
So what I'm understanding is you don't have to be an expert to build
You're
this.
not an expert,
This is
yes.
what Fraud Detector is for.
I think
Excellent.
I can even set this up.
I know.
Yeah. Now we have to select that role, which what we created earlier. Basically, start with 7936, and then we have to map to our training location. Amazon Fraud Detector is all about, without many machine learning, like a application developer. They can just build the model and then integrate with their application. That is the value of the artificial intelligence service. And now what will happen, right? We go to the next screen. We are going to basically train this model with the training data.
Okay.
The model training will take some time, but I pre-trained the model. And then the next step is, once model is trained, you are going to deploy the model. If you look at everything here, we are going to do the fraud to fraud, legit to legit. And then you can do like some of other unlabeled event, but we'll keep it for simple. And then here, if you see create and it is training the model.
Okay.
It comes and it trains the model. Because it is taking time, I pre-train the model. Once the model is ready, you have to deploy it. And then you have to create basically some of the rules there, right? So the next one is, let's look at the model here. This is the model. User registration model is ready. Here we are looking at the model score. AUC is the score where you can really look at how your model is performing.
So like the accuracy of the model.
The accuracy of the model.
Okay.
Anything closer to 1 is good. Here is 0.96, which is good.
Yeah.
And based on this model, you are going to create some business rule to define your high risk, medium risk, and low risk. If you look at here, anything about 900 here risk score, it looks to be a high, and anything 700 is a medium risk because we are catching fraud out of 84.80%. Based on this, what you are going to do, basically, you create a business rule. Let's say if your risk score is above 900, you deny the user registration because you see that is a risk.
Okay.
And anything between 700 to 900, you say medium risk, then create some friction.
Okay.
Here, you have to create outcomes like a high risk, medium risk, low risk, which I already created. Now, once it is done, we are going to create a detector. That is where we are going to invoke this trained machine learning. So we are going to create a detector called Reinforce detector, something, I mean, to make it
I mean, are you going to use this today?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, June 2013 or anything. Again, we have to select the event type, that is a user registration. That is where we wanted to track it. Here, we are selecting the model what we trained, that is user registration model, and you can select the version. You can have n number of version. Once you get more data, you retrain the model. It could be another version. For this example, you are taking version 1. The first one is we want to catch that high-risk one. We say auto-deny. Rule can be auto-deny.
Okay.
And here we are telling, take the user registration score where it is greater than or equal to 900. You just do the deny. This is the rule I'm putting it here.
Okay.
Here, where outcome is, we are calling as a high risk here. And we added rule here, and we are going to add another rule for medium risk here. We call as a review rule, right? Because we wanted to review when score is 700 somewhere. That is where we wanted to review 700 to 900, where we can create a friction and all. This is what we are saying. Anything greater than 700, then we say here a medium risk. And we are going to add another role for the low risk. So this is like auto approve. We can call it auto approve because low risk, we can we can make it like simple. And again, here it's saying that anything less than 700 risk score, we wanted to basically just auto approve it. And then the outcome here we are taking to the low risk. We added rules. Now it is the order of how you wanted to execute the model because we want to catch the auto deny first. That is the order 1. Order 2 is the review.
So if you put auto approve first, then it might start auto approving fraud.
Yeah, we don't. We wanted to catch the fraud. Our objective is catch the fraud.
Yeah.
So now we look at everything. You create a detector. Before you publish detector, we just want to run a sample test, making sure this model is performing. We are going to collect some sample data from our training data set. This is the legit. So outcome should be the legit because we train the model with the training data. That's what we are going to test it. We are taking email address and IP address here. If you look at run the test, it is legit because low score is 30. It's much lesser than 900. So it is doing what expected. Next step is we are going to publish it the model.
Okay.
Now you see the background. Now I'm going to show you the front end. Front end. See how you. This is a user registration simple application. One user is coming here where we wanted to basically see the auto approval kind of a use case here. User is coming and user is registering here. We are putting in email ID and then username. We'll just make it simple, like the email first is username. This is like a simple application just to demonstrate how easily you can protect your resources. Here, if you see here, registration is taking.
So it's going through
to the model. And see, look at here. Score is 18, and that's the reason it is approved. Immediately, thanks for registering. Because it's much lesser than 700, that's the reason it got approved. Now we look at the medium risk where we want to create some friction here, right?
Right.
So let's take another example here where we wanted to create some friction. It could be asking them to enter a cell phone number. We get a code, and then they have to enter that OTP kind of a number, and then they should be able to get in. Let's see this example.
Yeah, I like the name. It's great. Middleman for the middle risk.
Yeah, look at here. We are creating a friction by asking them to enter their cell phone number, and then there is some text they have to enter it, and then they are getting a SMS. It is just to demonstrate. We are showing that OTP code on the screen itself to make it simple.
Yeah.
It is like 2134. That is the code we are getting here. 2134. And now submit. Now we see this person is really person, and then we are going to approve the registration now. If you click on submit now, thanks for registering. The person couldn't register automatically earlier because the risk score was between 700 and 900.
So I'm excited for this one. Freddy Fraudster. I'm not sure if he's going to make it through.
I was hoping that too legit to quit.
I know, same.
Yeah, I don't think he will be able to make it because this is the example. We are going to see this Amazon product at a score. You can look at it. Its score is 977. We put a rule about anything above 900. We wanted to deny. That's the reason he was not able to detect. This is about it. And if you want to learn more about it, I wanted to show some of the resources.
Yeah, so I think we're posting the links in the chat, and I know Kyle's going to be the first one checking it out.
I know.
Building an application too legit to quit.
Yeah, if you want to learn whatever I show in the demo, customer can do step-by-step procedure. step-by-step procedure, whatever I shown. There is synthetic data, they can do it. And then if you wanted to do it like an API way where you have a Jupyter notebook, that is the guide. And then if you want to do the same thing with the SageMaker, where you don't have the labels, you can do that. And if you want to learn more about how to do the end-to-end machine learning platform, there is a white paper. If you want to explore AI, there is a use case explorer.
Oh my gosh.
You just select it, and then we'll tell you the solution.
Wait, this is awesome. Yeah, I actually want to play around with this for websites and stuff, setting up like who can access it, who cannot. I think it would be really cool.
All right. Thank you so much for showing us all this awesome stuff. I know I learned a thing or two. And don't go anywhere. Up next, we have the AWS Customer Incident Response Team. I'm pretty sure. Hopefully that's not a lie.